SoJO 104.9 playing the 90s till now. Hey there, it's Heather DeLuca here on a Friday afternoon, and I am not alone in the studio. In fact, it's quite packed. I have all four members of O-Town.
Hey.
All right, Dan Miller, Trevor Pennick, Jacob Underwood, and me, Eric Michael Estrada. They're all here. They're about to leave me and go do sound check for a show that they're playing tonight in Ocean City at the Ocean City Music Pier. Welcome back to South Jersey, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So it's been a year, but it almost slipped my mind that you were on the Y2K tour last summer with 90 Degrees and Dream. So what a cool catch up, and there's a picture of all of us like on those risers for the meet and greet, and it's just, I don't know, it's MTV Total Request Live, like all come to life, like right on the stage. It was cool to get a photo with everybody.
And Ryan Cabrera, by the way, who's
and Ryan, right? He's at your show tonight.
Yeah.
So he's been here to the SoJO studio before. So for me, it's always fun, really connecting with the artists that I grew up with. It's silly to sort of think back to MTV and not look at it as a generational thing. I mean, it is weird. It's a little weird to when I meet somebody who also is not just a musician but comes from, television too.
I feel bad for the kids that don't get to come home from high school and go straight to TRL and turn it on and watch the videos. Like, that was great.
I miss it. So MTV Classic, I think, does a really good job. A couple hours a night they dedicate to, they call it their TRL playlist. And so you'll see, Liquid Dreams up against Damaged by Danity Kane, and it's all those, memories, Missy Elliott and things like that. What would you say?
Did we win?
Did you win?
Didn't vote, Eric.
You didn't vote. Oh no, there's no voting.
Oh.
I know. It's a bummer.
We always want to win.
So
I wasn't voting before either.
I think my favorite thing is that it's been, this is the Sweet 16 for your debut album.
Oh, wow.
And you're
Sweet
still
16.
out and about making great music, and we'll talk about the new stuff in just a second, but I don't know, Dan, what do you remember about the recording of that first album? Because, we watched it all go down, and those studio sessions seemed really intense. You had producers that were, really specific when you're dealing with more than one vocalist. There's harmony situations, and you guys got hammered. So what do you remember this far, into the future now, about recording that initial debut album?
Everything was happening so fast. We were so young. We had never done it before, and it was just like, it felt like it was thrown together in a matter of weeks, just to put the whole album together. And truthfully, we didn't know any better. Like, we were just going with the flow and doing what all the big wigs at the record labels were telling us to do. But it was fun while it was happening. Looking back at it now, we have we learned a lot from those times. We learned a lot from those producers who were hard on us, and it helped us while we were putting together our most recent EP, because we did all that ourselves. We produced, wrote it all. So, those times were hard, but it was a good learning lesson for us.
Well, I think, obviously you get away from certain songs that you recorded when you were younger, and they take on, different meaning. But All or Nothing has really stood up as this killer ballad that sounds as good today as it ever did. How do you feel about some of the songs that you recorded when you were younger?
We feel extremely lucky that we got to have that song. That song is, the only reason why we're standing in front of you right now.
Not Liquid Dreams?
No, not Liquid Dreams. So yeah, I have a memory of every single song that we recorded that first album. I can remember every single studio session from every song.
All or Nothing we did in London.
Yeah.
Have you seen footage from making the band since then?
Well, we're going to put together an intro for our live show. So it'd be fun to pull snippets and sound bites and try and build an intro. And so Trevor was at my house. We're like, all right, let's sit down and let's try and pull some sound bites. And instead we went down the rabbit hole for an hour and a half.
You can probably,
just kept watching. We're like, oh my god, you can't stop. Remember that? Oh, we gotta see the next one. Because they just, on YouTube, they just start anyways. So we got stuck for an hour and a half. Did we finish the intro? No. We didn't pull one sound bite. We got lost in the show for an hour and a half, and then we left.
So it's cool. It's been a long time, but you guys are still really, really tight.
Stronger than ever.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Obviously, Lou Pearlman was a big part of putting you guys together and making the band the initial season before, Puff Daddy took over with the girls. Now that he's passed on, and there have been other groups that had tumultuous relationships with him, what was you know, away from the cameras and away from the tabloids and everything, what was your relationship with Lou like?
We wanted to go just a private one-on-one discussion about Lou.
Okay, we'll do that later.
No, I'm
He was
joking.
actually, he's very endearing to everybody. So that's why he really was lovable at first and could really like get you to believe in his vision and everything. And he was really good at selling that. That was his gift. The problem was he never would abide by a contract. You know,
was
his
just a
favorite
piece of
lines were
paper.
"sue me for it," and that's just no way to do business. So again, like what Dan said, not just in music production, but music business, he taught us a lot of what not to do. Clive Davis taught us a lot of what to do.
Right.
So we got a schooling in the business too, which is why we can do this now and be self-sufficient. We manage artwork, website, everything is done in-house. So.
Hey, you guys have taken a break. You've gone and, you know, explored solo situations, but what do you think motivates you to stick together as a foursome and continue to tour for your fans?
The fans.
Yeah?
Their reaction, you know, you talked about my 2K. My 2K came about because we did a movie with Nick Carter and Jeff Timmons and all the other boy bands called Dead Seven, and we got a chance to sort of, you know, hang out and talk, and
Really?
the discussions of 98 Degrees and O-Town going on tour started on that film set. Fast forward 5 months later, you know, we're going on tour with 98 Degrees.
Yeah.
And then it was during that time that we ended up losing, well, we didn't lose it, but our deal with our independent record label expired. And we decided, well, with all this momentum from My 2K, let's explore the idea of a Kickstarter campaign, which happened. And we kickstarted the album, met our goal in 7 hours, and exceeded that goal by 100%.
Yeah,
Doubled it by the end of the month, and saw the reaction to the fans, and figured, okay, I guess we're doing it again for them.
The fans love to have the new music. I mean, this song, Empty Space, again, another solid song, and you put these together yourself. Are these songs that you've written yourself? I know you mentioned you produced it, so is this all like, this is your baby, your project, like you produced it?
This is a labor of love for sure. Dan wrote the song, and we brought in 2 producers that are good buddies to kind of help bring these to life, working with ourselves. But you know, we're trying to make music for the fans. They funded this record, so it's weird because you have a record label and you're responsible to them and their concerns, and now it's flipped and they are our record label.
Right.
They fund this, and then we go in each time and we're very concerned of how is this going to come across in the live show for them. Like, how is the experience going to be for them? So we've been writing songs really with them in mind.
And also our story. Again, like Lines and Circles, the
last album.
The last album was about us sort of finding each other after being gone for a long time. And this album is sort of like, we figured we found each other, and this is what we're doing with it.
Now we know what we are.
Now we know what we are. Now we know our relationship with our fans, our relationship with each other. Empty Space. I mean, I'm talking for Dan, but I know that one of the main themes of Empty Space was us not being together and that void that created, and us not having the fans as well. So it's really autobiographical for us as a band.
We joke that our last names are from O-Town.
Yeah.
Jacob from O-Town.
For the last 10 years, we'll never be Jacob Underwood. That's Jacob from that's Dan from O-Town. And we finally were like, well, we're family. We might as well just get back together.
I officially changed my last name from O-Town.
I know. Okay. All right.
Legally.
I like it. No, it's okay. It works for me. I'm trying to concentrate with Eric's T-shirt. He's got an American Idol T-shirt with Kelly Clarkson play A-Good. I gotta know. I was first going to ask who's got the most tattoos, but it's clear Jacob. But what is with this T-shirt?
I'm all about bootleg concert tees and sporting event tees from back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
I actually was at when Kelly Clarkson actually got chosen to be an American Idol. I was in the audience watching it, and I just saw this shirt and I was like, I have to have it. That's it.
But look at the back. Look at the show.
That thing is a relic.
That is not Kelly Clarkson on the back. They like Photoshop some weird person into
No, that's her.
That's not.
That's part of
that's the album.
Is that the album cover?
That's the album
Yeah,
cover.
that's
That
the
is
album cover.
crazy.
It's just it doesn't look like her because the printing is so bad.
She
Yes.
very clearly, I'm sure to this day, regrets those pink streaks in her hair. We all regret the early 2000s.
I can relate to regretting some of my fashion choices.
Oh.
There was a lot of
Gosh.
exploration,
Yeah.
moving out of the 90s into the early 2000s.
Yeah, can you lean into the mic a little
Yeah,
bit? Sorry.
it's a lot of exploration that happened in the 2000s, from the 90s, that transition, and look, we just went right back to the 90s.
I know.
kid
Well, our
But I'm
jeans
loving
are
it.
tighter.
So nostalgic. What songs do you remember from that time, guys? That still like are great to you?
In the club. And
50
I don't
Cent.
know. It's because we heard it when we were in London, and we like for some reason we were in a cab in London, and we're like, "Who's this?" And I love that song. It came on recently. That's why it's in my head. I'm like, I still love this song. Every time
Actually,
it comes
most
on.
of
You know what?
most of our favorite songs, I think that during that time, we experienced in the UK. Because I remember
Yeah.
we were flying from the UK when I heard Peaches and Cream, and I
Oh,
loved
112.
yeah.
So good.
Eminem. I mean, he was putting out some great. I remember we
we
got that album and sat in the car for like an hour.
You guys need to, when you get some time, because I'm sure you have tons of it, watch the Defiant Ones, which
Oh, we
is
saw it.
oh,
We've been
it's
talking about
killer.
it. Yep.
It's amazing.
It's killer with Jimmy
So
Iovine
good.
and Dre and
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, it's-
How they signed Eminem. Okay, just real quick, couple questions from our fans. Jody and Tom's River says, if you could be part of any guy group that's not your own, who would you choose?
Boys to Men.
Oh, I like that.
Good one. Do they have to be still together?
No.
Oh, Jackson 5. Hands
Okay.
down.
Okay.
It'd be the 6.
I joined New Kids on the Block
5 plus 11.
Ooh, that's a good one.
or NSYNC. I joke all the time that I drop these guys for NSYNC or New Kids on the Block.
Okay. Well,
any
they
day of the week.
in
And Joey wants to come into our group, so it's fine.
Yeah, it
Oh,
works out.
I like it. Joey.
It's swap.
Joey and Chris went over here, so.
Nice.
If I was gonna Kyrie Irving and request a trade,
Yeah.
I think I request a trade to the Backstreet Boys. I think I could help them out a little bit.
Boy. Oh. Why not?
No,
It works
we
in
don't accept
baseball.
the
It works
trade.
in sports. Like NSYNC could.
You ain't
use
get no preference.
So Ashley, who's our digital managing editor, huge fan. She wanted to know. You guys were on the ground floor of reality talent competitions. It was a TV series, so not to discount that, but like American Idol, The Voice, all these shows have come since then.
Yeah.
If there were no such thing as making the band, and you were to audition for one of those shows, which one do you think you would have tried out for?
See, it's different. We always say, because when we started, we were the first.
Yeah.
So, like, now there's like this whole formula and people know what they have to do. And when we did it, we had no idea what the heck we were doing.
Yeah.
We didn't know, like, what you were supposed to do on that type of
It was a
show.
real experiment. at the
It
time.
was, we were a little bit more like the real world.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
it-
that's
whereas-
just what made it so good.
I think you're right. It like
what made it so
things are
much
so
better than all
contrived
that. Yeah.
now. There's a formula to it. You're right. I mean, I watch The Voice just to see who turns their chair around for the audition episodes,
Yeah.
and then I'm ow.
Well,
Yeah.
what artist from The Voice has gone on?
No
to,
one.
right?
No. It's
So
a
I-
problem that they've had that the judges have, and I would say even Danity Kane could have been, suffered from Puff Daddy's
course.
fame and popularity because they were looking for it's coming from him. I think the pressure is a little harder. And then when you have all these judges who are super famous, the focus is off the talent.
Yeah,
in
I think.
in some way.
Well,
It's a game
again,
within a game.
our show sort of created the blueprint for them understanding what worked and what didn't. What really worked for our show, we learned in the second and third season, was the competition from the first season. Who was going to make it? Who wasn't? Who was going to get eliminated? The elimination is the big draw to
Right.
the shows.
Yeah.
And if you don't win on one of those shows, then you lose. And I
Right.
always saw that as an issue. Like, I never want to put myself in a position where I'm going to be one of like a few thousand and then be degraded to a loser.
Right,
if I
because
don't win.
that's not how you guys. The show
You know
was
who's
created
won?
to put you guys together, so no
You
one
know
was
what was
really
an
going to
interesting
lose.
timeline? Was we had our audition for Clive Davis. We're still shooting our television show, and he had Simon Cowell at our audition because he put together Westlife, so he wanted his opinion.
Right.
And Simon's sitting there going, "What are these cameras about? What are you guys doing?" And just kept asking questions and questions and questions. And
Really?
a year later, Bible starts UK. He really, I don't can't take credit. I don't know, but obviously he saw the
Something.
show, and he took it from more reality to the competition, which is what we've got now. I think he saw what it was, and he was smart enough to refine what was going on. But
Mhm.
yeah,
And Puffy
He was
sort of
definitely
did
there.
too. Puffy sort of saw making the band concept and was like, oh, Lou made it about the band, I'm going to make it about me.
Right.
And I'm going to pick a
Right.
band that's going to be good for TV. And if they don't make it, who cares? Because
I'm
gonna
still on
go-
TV.
I'm still on TV, and I'm going to bring it back for a third season. If they fail again, awesome. I'm going to build another one because it's all about me.
Right.
Which, that's just the difference of our
Yeah,
shows.
and it was
Yeah.
about us. Great.
Well, I gotta say, your live show, I caught you at the Foundry in Philadelphia, like I mentioned. It's just it's just intense energy and really fun, and it's a tight show, and you guys seem like you're having a really good time and fun out there. We're gonna have to let you go. They are in Ocean City at the Music Pier tonight. I've kept them way too long. They've got to get to sound check. So we're gonna take some photos, get them out of here to go to Ocean City. But I'm talking to O-Town. You can follow them all over social media. I think maybe an EP is coming. We've got a new song here from the guys. We'll hear All or Nothing a little later on, but gonna play some Empty Space here. Jacob, Dan, Eric, Michael, and Trevor.
You can pre-order the EP on iTunes right now.
Okay.
Singles out,
All right.
and the EP drops on August 4th.
OTWN Part 1.
And all of our socials is at O-Town Official.
At O-Town Official. Okay, guys, I can't thank you enough for coming in to visit us today.
Thank you.
Here it is, the SoJO 1049 premiere of Empty Space from O-Town. SoJO 1049.